Hey everyone, I'm Evangeline here at eTrailer. Today we're taking a look at how the BulletProof Hitches dual ball stainless steel and aluminum ball mount fits on the 2020 Ford F-150. The specific one we have here today is the one designed for the 2-inch shank of your F-150 with a 6-inch rise and drop. So we're going to go through just the different range of trailer height towing that you can now accomplish with this ball mount. With the stainless steel dual ball design, you have a 2-inch hitch ball, and you also have a 2 5/16 ball, which is very helpful if you are towing around different types of trailers. Oftentimes your heavier travel trailers will utilize that 2 5/16 inch ball since you have a 14,000 pound weight capacity. With the 2-inch ball, that's going to be for your lighter trailers, and that will have an up to 10,000 pound weight capacity. Now, I have our ball mount set up in the lowest of the low position, so we have our more extreme drop. BulletProof Hitches measures their receiver height from the bottom of the hitch receiver. I personally measure from the top inside edge, but if we measure from the bottom, it's going to be 17.5 inches. And on the product page, BulletProof Hitches actually specifies through us the types of trucks that they recommend for that type of rise and drop, which is honestly a little bit higher up than what we have here. And the reason for that is because on the lowest drop, you want to make sure that you're not bottoming out. So let's say you go over a pothole or a speed bump. This bottom ball right there does have potential for dropping. Now, people that do like this larger rise and drop design, sometimes they want to take advantage of it in the drop position because of the ability to stow away this ball mount base. So I pulled those clips and I pulled these pins out, and now I can take this ball mount, turn it around like that, and then we can put those pins right back in. So this is how you may want to drive around with your ball mount when not in use, just because look at how much less space this takes up. In fact, let's go pop these right back in so we can take some measurements. So if I measured from the bumper to the end of the ball mount, that's going to be just 3 inches of space that this takes up. For those who may have hitches in different spots, if you measure from the center of the hitch pin hole to the end of that ball mount, it's going to be 5 inches and 1/4 inch. Do be mindful that when it is in that drop position like that, the ball mount does stick a little bit further down below the base, so that can also bottom out too. Now, to make some adjustments, you do have 2 options here. You can adjust for using a different hitch ball by just flipping the whole base on over. You also have the option for adjusting this to the rise position instead by taking out that pin and clip and then flipping the whole shank on over. When you have a shank with a higher rise like what we have here, something you want to be mindful of is, can you still lower your tailgate? The answer to that is sort of. So follow along here. If you have your base in its highest position, that sits a little bit too high up. So we're going to drop it down a little bit lower so that you can see that measurement. So from the top of the inside corner of our hitch receiver to the top of the ball mount, that's going to be 8 inches. And notice how I have the top of the ball mount lined up with the top of the hitch ball. And the reason I recommend doing that and not going any further is because when you lower your tailgate here, bring it all the way down, there is barely an inch of space from the hitch ball to the tailgate. So with that in mind, you can still use your ball mount in the rise position, just don't go too high up. I personally really like the BulletProof Hitches line of ball mounts, especially these new aluminum shank ones. They look great, they have a good weight capacity, and they're just smooth all around. For F-150 though, I personally would recommend looking at the 4-inch rise and drop version instead. As you saw here, this was the maximum we could set our hitch ball to without losing tailgate clearance, which is actually the maximum rise that you get with the 4-inch shank. For those concerned about whether you'll be able to stow away, you can still stow with the 4-inch version. However, if you are using this ball mount with other vehicles, or maybe vehicles that do have more ground clearance, and you want something that is adjustable and can also work with your F-150, then this is the way that you can go. And hopefully this video helped you out with just seeing how it will work with your truck. If you have any questions at any point, maybe your towing journey doesn't end with getting a ball mount. You need other accessories to make sure that you're going by safely onto your adventures. Well, we have all that stuff right here. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us here at the website. But today, what you saw was a look at the BulletProof Hitches aluminum ball mounts for your 2-inch hitch receivers, and with your stainless steel dual balls here on our 2020 Ford F-150.